We've never actually seen a true Trump economy until now.
I'm going to say this at risk of my job, Kelly, but what President Trump is doing is insane. It is absolutely insane. It is about the eighth reason we've had for the tariffs. And now he's saying he's putting 50% tariffs on Canada unless they agree to become the 51st state. That is insane. There is just no other way of describing it. And the trouble, Kelly, is that it shows there are no bounds around President Trump. This is very different from the first administration.
There's actually something Donald Trump is really, really good at, and that is inheriting things. He inherited $400 million from his father that I gotta say that if he would have just put into a low-cost index fund, he'd have a lot more money than he has right now. But he also inherited something else. He inherited a pretty good economy from the Kenyan Barack Hussein Obama. Now, I'm going to go back to the Kenyan thing because that kind of like brings this all together for me. But let's remember what happened when Barack Obama got into office in 2009. When Obama got into office in 2009, the unemployment rate in the United States was 10.1%. Now, keep all these facts in your pocket so when you get into a conversation with your MAGA friends. 10.1% unemployment rate. They were losing hundreds upon thousands of jobs every single month. By the time Obama left in 2016, GDP growth was positive at 2.7% on average. The inflation was under 2%. I believe it was like 1.7%. And the unemployment rate from 10.1% went to 4.7%. Not bad. Not bad. So Trump walks in with this economy. And what does he do in 2017? He does just a few things. He passes a massive tax cut that goes predominantly to the rich and then corporations that get a tax break. But studies on that corporate tax break have shown that they pretty much put it back into the business or they did stock buybacks. It actually didn't lead to hiring more people. It actually didn't do the thing that Trump said it would do. And the other thing it did is it ballooned the deficit. It ballooned the deficit to the point that before COVID hit, inflation started to go up above the 2%. Because Obama had it under 2%. That 2% benchmark is a big thing that all kind of central banks kind of use as like whether or not inflation is stable or not, right? So Trump was taking us into a place where, oh, I don't know, these deficits might be too big. A Republican ballooning the deficit. I can't believe it. So then COVID hit. Now here's the thing. I don't blame anybody for COVID. I just don't. I give people grace. I give world leaders grace. It's the only time that I will give Trump grace. But the point is, we have never truly experienced a Trump economy. The Trump economy that he was so boasting about really was like just a continuation of the Obama economy. It was Obama's economy. And now here we are with Trump, and we have an issue in that everything that they were saying about Donald Trump to worry about, now the messengers might not have been the best, whether it was Kamala Harris or Nancy Pelosi, the establishment Democrats, whatever, but the message was dead on, that if you vote Donald Trump in this time, you are not going to get any guardrails. Now, they made it about the guardrails that existed around him. They made it about, oh, the Mnuchin's not going to be there, and this guy's not going to be there, and McChrystal's not going to be there, and all these like external people that are not going to be there to stop them. And you know what? That is definitely true. Trump is surrounded by sycophants, like all over. These are like yes men, 100%. But there's also another thing that has happened to Trump, and that is that there's no guardrails within himself. And this guy had no guardrails to begin with. Ezra Klein did this amazing piece in which he broke it down based on Trump's big five personality, the big five personality traits. And he said, look, this guy has absolutely zero conscientiousness. Zero. This guy is freewheeling. He has no shame. He doesn't care. He just goes with it. And now Trump is doing that more than ever. And the thing that I think that has really pushed him farther than ever is the fact that him surviving that assassination, something happened to him that he honestly thinks he is doing God's work. I find it ironic that the guy who completely was faking it, this whole pro-life Trump, pro-Christian thing, you know he don't believe it. You know this man is not pro-life. This guy is pro-choice. We all know that. But this assassination attempt, again, messianic, religious. He has this profound belief in himself that he is here on a mission. And that is why he engages in continuous, irrational behavior. Irrational. However, I used to be a guy who believed that most of the time we can apply what's called Hanlon's razor. Hanlon's razor is do not attribute to malice that which you can as easily attribute to stupidity. Meaning, most of the time, people aren't evil, they're stupid. But I'm coming up with my own razor. This is the Ali Momin razor. That sometimes it's malice and it's stupidity. And that's where we are now. We are in a place where the economy is now being run by people who are both stupid and evil. So what are we going to do? Now the market is screaming at Trump. CEOs are going to start to scream at Trump. This makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Because even if you were to take this tariff policy, let's go back to the Gilded Age policy that I would talk about, you can't just do it in 2 months. It has to be something that will take 10 to 15 years to completely reshape how the economy works. It has taken 40 to 50 years post-World War II to make this version of the economy. And yeah, it definitely has its issues when it comes to what it's done to like small towns and factories and 100%. The textile industry, for instance, like just so many things. But to think that you're just going to take it back in the span of a couple months with some few tariffs, no, that's not what's going to happen. So we are in a place where, again, we have people who are malicious and people who are stupid. And boy, oh boy, I don't want to know what's up. But let me go back to the Kenyan thing. Character is destiny. What did we expect? The minute this guy showed up and started to say that Barack Obama was not born in America, the minute this guy showed up and started to ask for his college records because he could not believe that a black guy born in Wichita, Kansas, raised in Hawaii with a father from Kenya could somehow be as accomplished and as seemingly intelligent as he is, because where Donald Trump comes from, it actually is not a meritocracy. Because if it was a meritocracy, bone spur, lazy, stupid Donald Trump would be just like a lot of the people that I grew up with in elementary school and high school. I'm sorry. He would not be the president of the United States. His ascent is proof that meritocracy, is not 100% a thing. But to me, that was it. It didn't matter what policy came out of his mouth. That tells me everything, not just about who you are, but about where you are going to take us. Because if you go back to history and you see the stories of people who end up in terrible situations, terrible demises, and bring their nations to that same destination, it was always written. It was always written. It was there. And so this is not going to end well. Yes, Trump has had some victories. He's the president of the United States twice. I mean, come on. That's a guy who won twice. We got to give him that. But character is destiny. And ultimately, where we are going is where we were always going to go. The inevitable demise of an individual, and I hope not the inevitable demise of an empire.